Another day, another rapper saying crazy stuff. Here's DDG. So this is, for those who don't know, this is Halle Bailey's, I think they're married, Halle Bailey's husband or boyfriend or whatever they are, speaks on people with 9-to-5 jobs. I actually haven't seen the video, I've only seen the comment, but let's get into it.
9 to 5 should only be used to fund your own business. Like, I don't think nobody should ever get a job and say, I'm gonna be the 10-year best employee of the year. Like, nobody should ever think that, because if you ever late too many times, they gonna get rid of you. They don't care what you got going on in your family. They don't care about nothing. If I'm the business and you always late and you doing this, I'm firing you.
Well, yeah, that's facts. I mean, but if you know you're going to be late, if there's like something that you have with your family, what do? You call in and let them know you're going to be late. Yes, a business cannot run if the employees are late. So yes, the business, if you're late too many times, unexcused absences, unexcused tardies, and it happens too much, I mean, it's pretty logical. There's going to be consequences.
Plain and simple. I don't give a damn what you got going on, because I know I got 1,000 applications and they gonna grind hard because they need this money to fund their business or just to work here forever. So I'll tell people all the time, I'm like, bro, you can't be stuck in no 9 to 5. It's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, but it's like, it's what you doing with the 9 to 5. You shouldn't be working a 9 to 5 to take care of your life for the rest of your life.
But why not? I mean, isn't that how people retire? See, my thing is, if you're going to give advice like this, and a lot of people can't even get 9 to 5s. 9 to 5s means you work 40 plus hours a week. It's a full-time job. People are struggling to even get full-time job. There are people at part-time jobs working less than 40 hours a week who are trying so hard to get more hours, because more hours means more money. So if you're going to say, yo, this is just a very easy thing to say, right? This is like this hustler grind set mentality that was popular back in the 2010s. It's very easy to say, yo, don't get a 9 to 5, start your own business. He's going a step further, and he's saying you need to be using the 9 to 5 to fund something else. So he's going a step further with it. And he's also saying you shouldn't be using the 9 to 5 to fund your life. People use 9 to 5s for the pension. People use 9 to 5s to have the union status. People use 9 to 5 to have the 401k, matching 401k, 403b, to retire at a decent age, 50, 60. So if you're going to tell people, there are even different professions where you can retire earlier, like police officers, military. So if you're going to tell people don't use 9 to 5s, no one should use 9 to 5s to fund their life, you also have to realize why people have 9 to 5s in the first place. Let me let him finish.
A 9
but that
to
was
5.
It. And he also made another comment here. I guess this is him trying to clarify clarify what he said. Just my opinion, if you aspire to be a boss one day, you have to invest in yourself. Nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5 for your entire life, though if you're cool with it. I just like to motivate people to dream bigger. So this is this mentality that the biggest dream is to be your own boss, right? These are the issues that I have with especially rappers saying things like this, because usually people who don't know about certain, like, he may know what it means to be your own boss, but do you know what it means to be in an actual 9 to 5? Do you know? And this is what I was saying earlier, like, people are working there for other reasons, 9 to 5. People are working there for the healthcare. People are working there for the union benefits. You might have a partner who's sick. You might have a family member who's sick, and the only way you're able to provide healthcare is through your job. Like, but what I'm saying is going deeper than what the average person, rapper, I know he's iced out, it's going a little probably deeper than what they understand. So it's very easy for him to just say, yo, only work a 9 to 5 to fund your own business. And I'm gonna get to that point too. Only work it to fund your own business. Don't plan to be there for it to fund your lifestyle. So we've already gotten to the reason why people work 9 to 5s. It's to have a retirement, to be able to retire, which is also a luxury. And this is, I'm going all over the place, but stay with me. This is something like these grind set people also say, right? I don't just want to have the house, picket fence, 2 kids. I want something more. Like, think about what you just said, though. You don't want to have the White House and the picket fence with the lawn. Do you realize that even if you wanted that, do you realize that you probably would not be able to get that? And do you understand how hard it is in 2024, 2025 to even get a house with a fence, with some land that looks decent? Like, you have people who are like 15, 16-year-olds saying this who don't understand. And I think DDG doesn't really understand why people would work a 9 to 5. 15, 16-year-old, I don't want just a house, the picket fence, the 2 cars, the 2 kids, the wife. Like, I want more. I want something more. Brother, even if you aspire to get that house, picket fence, 2 kids, wife, do you understand how hard that is? Do you understand? It's not like how easy it was in the 50s and 60s where you could work at Sears. You could work at Robinson's May. Remember Robinson's May? And then you can get a house and everything. No, even if you wanted that, you couldn't get it. You would struggle to get it. It's the same type of misinformation, right? Or just not even misinformation, misunderstanding. Yeah, don't work a 9 to 5. Have it to fund your business. And let's get to the fund your business thing, right? Because DDG, he's making, there's an assumption here that being a boss is meant, it's like the biggest dream. I want you to dream bigger so you can be your own boss. So you don't work a 9 to 5, right? So we already got to the reasons why people work 9 to 5. It's not only the stability, it's the healthcare, it's the pensions, it's the retirement, it's the unions. There's plenty of reasons why people will work 9 to 5. If you have kids, bro, like if you have kids, they need healthcare, and having a 9 to 5 job aids with that. It aids that. It certain 9 to 5s, you get life insurance, you get disability insurance, you get so much. Like, we won't even go there. Let's just take his implication. If you're working a 9 to 5 and you don't want to be your own boss, you're not dreaming big enough. But do note that there are people in skilled professions, such as doctors, lawyers, teachers, etc., who love their job. If I'm a teacher, I love teaching. If I'm a doctor, if I'm a nurse, let's say a nurse, I love having that hands-on contact with the patients. I love these parts of my job. If I'm a dentist, I love the dental part, being in people's mouths, correcting, doing the procedures. When you're your own boss, it's a different job. There are different job duties when you're your own boss. You're not, and again, I just need people to, if people are going to talk about this, you have to understand what a 9 to 5 is. When you are a boss, meaning the CEO, your job is no longer, if you're a dentist, hand-to-hand contact, personalization with the patients, actually doing dental work. That's no longer your job as a boss. Now, you may do that sometimes, but now the bulk of your job is acquiring funding, it's supervising employees, kind of management. You've gone from doing your skilled work that you loved to management. And some people have worked their whole lives to get to college, to learn this skill, clinicals, to get good at this skill, to now work that job. They want to do what they trained for. Not everyone wants to be their own boss. Being your own boss, it's different job duties. Yes, let's use a dental example again. Yes, you still may be able to work with patients here and there. My dentist, he owns the dental office. When I go to get my teeth looked at, every 6 months, it's not always him. He'll do it every so often, but he has to manage his practice. So I know this is when I say, there are skilled professions who may not want to be their own boss and do what comes with that. They just want to do what they trained their whole life to do, and they love doing it. Then the rebuttal is, well, you can start your own practice. That is a whole different skill set. And not only that, yes, this is the part DDG understands. Yes, it takes funding. It takes funding to start your own practice. But even then, I don't think people really understand what goes into that. Yes, you need money, but you need continuous money. You need to be able to take losses. You need to be able to take, not be able to take the risk of not being profitable for XYZ years until you put enough funding into marketing. Like, you're funding all these different things, and not everyone wants that risk. Not everyone wants to put their finances at risk to start their own business. The thing about the 9 to 5 is it provides stability like no other. You know you're going to get the check. If you're in a union, you know you're going to get your raises. You know, that's in a collective bargaining agreement every year or every X amount of years. You know you're going to get your health care. Being your own boss is not the ultimate dream, which is the implication here. And everyone can't be bosses, nor does everyone want to be. When rappers speak about this thing, I just wish they would just go a little bit deeper to understand why people would want to stay in a 9-to-5. Because he tried to clean it up here, but there's a reason. People want to work their 9-to-5, especially if they're in skilled labor. They love what they do. They don't want to go from doing their actual procedurals, being with the clients, being with the students, being with the patients, to now managing people, managing building, acquiring funding, fundraising. Like, that's a whole different skill set, brother. So